I would like to thank Taylor Hanson, who held and comforted my daughter as she died, and then delivered comforting words to me, despite his tragedy. I know that everybody in this room is here because January 6th has touched them in some way. I appreciate every one of you. My daughter sacrificed a lot for this country. She served this country. She was injured in combat and then ultimately gave her life. Ashley's in heaven now in a better place, but what I'd like to talk about is the situation in this country and things that can be changed. There's absolutely nothing you can do to bring my daughter back. But you can call the Capitol Police. You can, the Capitol Switchboard. Harass them every day. You'll feel like you're getting nowhere. I would also like to thank Julie Kelly. Julie Kelly's been a tireless champion for our detainees. These men and women that are still in jail being treated in a way that we're not allowed to treat animals in this country, suffering still, most of them for little more than carrying a flag. That's not an American thing to do. We don't treat our citizens like that, much less our patriots. So speak up, speak loudly until somebody hears you. You know, I would like to say again that every single person here is appreciated, but where is everybody else? You know, because they squashed the movement that day. They killed my daughter and they jailed patriots and they said, look what happens when you question us.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
Look what happens when you dare to buck the establishment. Look what happens when you dare to knock on the palace door. And I see no children in this room, so I will go ahead and say it. Fuck off and die, Nancy Pelosi.
I would like people to know she was a patriot. She loved this country. She was full of life. She was full of love. She was full of promise. She was a woman ready to take on the next task, whatever that may be. She was a true modern American woman. She was independent. She was strong. She was brave. I love and miss her. She's part of something larger than herself, and it is kind of odd to suffer the loss of a child and suddenly have her belong to the world and not just to you. And I feel like her sacrifice will go on to mean bigger things someday. Maybe there'll be some changes in the way Capitol Police do things. Maybe there'll be some change in elections. Maybe there'll be some changes that'll matter to America, and I think that some of that will be Ashley's legacy.
What do you think the media is wrong about her?
Everything. My daughter wasn't an insurrectionist. She did not go to take over the government. My daughter was 5'2" and 115 pounds. She did not go there to take over anything. She went there to have her voice heard. And I think they tried to squash her voice, and in the end, they will make it stronger.
This might be somewhat difficult, but I heard one speaker point out that President Trump, for example, at his speech, didn't name Lieutenant Byrd when he went to Notre Dame. What is your opinion of President Trump at this point?
I appreciate President Trump's support. Ashley loved President Trump. I believe she loves him still. I think that President Trump is trying to operate within parameters that won't harm his purpose. I think that there are some things that could have been done differently, but I think that the media has not been fair to him either. I don't think this country ever treated him with the respect the office of the President of the United States deserves. So I think at this point, I think he will run again in 2024, and I will vote for him.
So it's your intention to support him once again?
I think that President Trump has the power to unite people like I've never seen before. I've been alive for almost 60 years, and I have never seen anybody with the power to unite people like he does. So I would support him because I think he's good for this country. Do I approve of every single thing he's done or said? I don't, but that's just true of anyone. You know, that's true of anyone. I think he's good for the country. I think he's a powerful leader, and I think that he will run in 2024, and yes, I will vote for him. I hate Nancy Pelosi. I think Nancy Pelosi's a power-hungry elitist. I think that she's lived her whole life behind the golden gates of money, politics, and protection. I think she views the White House as her own private clubhouse. I think that she is Ashli was a California constituent, and Nancy Pelosi should have been taking action on Ashley's behalf. I called Nancy Pelosi no less than a dozen times. Nancy Pelosi's not even returned a phone call. Not a phone call, not an email, not a text, nothing. Over a dozen times. She doesn't feel like she has to respond because she's above it. And she's a guilty, murderous bitch. That's how I feel about Nancy Pelosi. And I know God will give her what she deserves. Because it's almost too late for her on this earth to receive justice because she's older than dust. So even if she does go to jail, she won't be there long. So God will have to take care of her.